I saw a video on, I forgot, on another YouTube channel, I forgot which one, about Fresnel lenses several days ago, or several weeks ago even. And so I was at work, as you can see here, with the truck, and at a electronics store, which I was delivering, well, electronics and furniture. I was delivering the furniture to them, and they were throwing this thing out. So I asked them if I could take it, and I mean, these places can't get rid of enough rubbish, so they were glad to give it to me. So, oh, I put that down on the plug, which I didn't realize at the time. But it doesn't matter because I'm throwing away the screen. I'm just taking it apart nice and carefully. Why I'm being so careful, I don't know. Why not? It's held together by quite a lot of screws and tabs and tape and everything, but it was an interesting experience. Oh, I actually used the magnets from that to wrap around some other speaker wires I have. Now, where are we? Yeah, I just basically threw, the majority of that was just plastic and metal, and since it was separated so nicely, I threw it all into recycling. If you really wanted to, you could probably reuse a lot of those parts though. Ha! There's Chi-Chi. What I want to do with these Fresnel lenses basically is try to redirect the light from going wide out to more directly inwards towards the subject, so that the light fall off would be much less extreme. Because when you put a softbox right next to the face, there's only, let's say, 10 centimeters there, but to hit this side of my face there might be 20 or 30. So this ends up being 2 or 3 times brighter than this side of the face. I'm trying to mitigate that, lessen the drop off. So rather than being 3 times brighter, let's say it's 50% brighter. That's what I want to try and achieve here. And of course, the closer the softbox is to the face, the greater that distance is. Oh, there it is. That's a Fresnel lens. So I think I'll end this here. As I happen to be quite in luck here, the plastic sheets I pulled out of the TV, the Fresnel lenses, are 700 by 1200 wide millimeters. The soft boxes I have for my speed lights are just under 600 millimeters. So I'll be able to make 2 square pieces out of each of the thin ones, even the thick one, but the thick one is quite a hefty sheet, so hopefully I won't need to use that one. Now, I will actually cut these in half. Once I line the 2 sheets up parallel to each other, that will necessarily then be 90 degrees. Yeah, although this doesn't really need to be all that accurate. Just to make sure. Yeah, perfect. So now what I will do is I'll point the softbox straight at our little friend here, and I will take a number of photos, first without the lens, and then with 1, and then with 2. I do believe 1 will restrict the width in one direction, and the other one should do the other one. So let's see the difference that makes. Actually, I think what I will do first is basically this. Don't worry about the monkey for now, but what I want to see is the light cast onto the wall. Let's see if the actual bright spot on the wall gets smaller with the lenses as compared to without. Okay, so we've got our monkey friend sitting there, but don't worry about him for now. Look at the wall. I'll put the photo up. You can see the wall is quite lit quite wide. Okay, now with the lenses, let's see what the result is. Yeah, I'll increase the brightness just to compensate a little bit. Let's see that. Yeah, that's certainly done exactly what I expected. Not exactly, not to the extent I expected, but it's had the effect that I desire. And now I'm going to take a couple of portraits of the monkey here, with and without the lens on the softbox. That is fantastic. All right then, I will take the lens off and bring the speed light 2 stops down again to match the brightness. And I think we will find that the fall off is much worse without the lens. Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's take that to the computer and have a look in detail. Now here we are in Lightroom. Let's compare those two images. Here on the left we have the one with the lens, and on the right it's the image without the Fresnel lens. You can see this actually if we press C to compare them and zoom in on the eyes. Look at that. One side effect is that you get this really strange sort of ghostly ethereal look to the catchlight. So that's an unintended good side effect, I guess. One thing I did intend to use this for is to separate the subject better from the background. You can see the background is considerably darker with the lens because it directs the light more straight, and I pointed the softbox away from the wall at perhaps 45 degrees, so it didn't light up the wall as much. I mean, that's one of the biggest differences. You can see right there, it's quite clear that it's much darker background and better separation. Now, the fall off is what I was actually going for, and that's the least of what I've achieved of all the other stuff. Now, if we see let's go with the edge of the face. Similar brightness. I did adjust the brightness slightly to get them to be the same, so that you have some sort of control point to measure from. So the right side of the face there is roughly the same brightness. If you look to the far left though, on the ear for example, you can see that this ear is, perhaps you can see, I don't know how much YouTube will mess this up, but the left ear is ever so slightly brighter. I mean, slight. Where it's really more obvious is for some reason here in the armpit. That is a fair bit brighter than this. A fair bit. Yeah. That's where it's most obvious. Now, actually, I just remembered the fall off was even more obvious in the other image. So let's get to that. I'll compare these two. You can see on the right here is the image with the lens. Let's zoom into the foot. Right. The right foot here, actually. 1 second. I'm just going to zoom out of there a little bit. There we go. All right. This right foot and left foot fairly evenly lit. The right foot is slightly brighter than the left foot, being closer to the light source, but because of the lens, the fall off isn't so drastic. If you look on the left image, that right foot is far brighter than this one. Let's zoom in 1, 2, 1. Yeah, look at the right foot here and the right foot here. The lens just directs the light nicer, so you don't get this kind of blown out area. It's not blown out, but it's almost there. Over here. See the hand? Just about the same on both images. And then the feet, far brighter here, far brighter. The face. Yeah, that ear is brighter in the image with the lens. So it's not a terribly drastic effect, but it's there. It's there. I like to do things within reason scientifically. I'm not going to write a whole paper and hypotheses and take measurements and all this, but I can see the effect there with my eyes. It's significant enough for me. Was all this worth the effort? Probably not, actually. Most of this could have been achieved with a grid to stop the light from bouncing off to the side, and then you would get better separation from the background, like that. However, it still would do nothing for the fall off. So the only way to really achieve that is by directing the light forwards, because with the light basically going 180 degrees away from the light source, what happens is, as you double your distance, the brightness falls by an inverse square. So twice the distance, 4 times less brightness. If all the light went directly forwards from the light source, that wouldn't happen at all, except for just random molecules in the air scattering the light, which would be far, far less than inverse square. It would pretty much be 1 to 1. The light would just continue shining evenly all the way back. I managed to get some of the way there. Perhaps a Fresnel lens that's got the circular rings on it rather than the one that I have that has the horizontal lines in both directions. Or one sheet each, and then you put them at 90 degrees to each other. Perhaps the round one might work better, but seeing as how, just due to luck alone, this TV did not have those. I guess I'll just, if I get a hold of one at some point, I will test that again. I do intend to try this out for a few portraits, probably of myself, just to test it first. So keep an eye out for that. Stay tuned for more videos exploring really odd stuff like this, really. This is what I'm into, trying new things. And I've been doing photography for some 3 years, I think, maybe 4. So I've found myself trying really bizarre stuff now. So stay tuned for more of that.